Hello, I hope you're doing well. Today we're going to be jumping in and going over the issues with the locking on and how to fix that, and a few other combat issues with the controller. So as you can see, I'm zoomed in really close to my character. I can spin my camera around like this. All right, so if you wanted to be able to do this, all you have to do is hit your left trigger, or I think it's L2 on the PlayStation. I haven't played PlayStation since PlayStation 1, but yeah, it'll bring up a menu like this. You can go over to the camera settings, and you can use left trigger and right trigger to zoom in and out, which I think is going to be L2 and R2 on the PlayStation. All right, so by default, when you lock on, now if I use the right stick to try and turn and look around at all, it just switches my target. This can cause a lot of issues, especially if you're auto-attacking. You can end up pulling groups of enemies to you without meaning to. All right, the easiest way to fix this is to simply go into your settings. All right, and here's another tip real quick while we're going into our settings. If you have both keyboard, mouse, and controller, so you're on PC or you have a hookup for your console, you can't access the controller settings without using a controller. All right, so you can't. It'd be a lot easier if you could use your keyboard and mouse to go in and mess with your settings, right? But you can't. To get to your controller settings, you have to use a controller. All right, so hit the start button, and then you can use your D-pad to scroll down to settings. All right, another option here is to hold down the left stick until this pops up, your virtual cursor mode, and then you could use the virtual cursor. If you would prefer to do it like this, you can move it with the left stick and select with A. This is for emergencies or something. If you're, for some reason, if you accidentally use the joystick and it got lost, and you don't know where your selection is, you can't get back into the menu, you can hold that down to fix it. Every time you go into a menu right now, it undoes it. So you have to re-hold it down, bring it back up. So I'd still, if you're on controller, I would still use the D-pad up and down, left and right to get around places. Okay, so to fix the lock-on issue and to be able to look around, you come down to your camera, and you simply turn off camera rotation disabled when locked on. Hit that. All right, back out, and then we'll show you. When you lock onto a target, now if I rotate my camera, I can kind of look left and right. Your camera no longer rotates when you're locked on like normal. This way you're always looking at your target. It's kind of nice and interesting, and kind of not. All right, so now you can't change your target anymore, though, once you've done this. And I don't know, you may like to be able to zoom out, zoom left and right like this, and kind of get far away from your character. And if that is the case, then this is a great setting for you. If not, we'll show you some other ways of fixing this. The issue here is with the controller, once you've locked on, you can no longer see behind you. This is a problem in PvP. You need to be able to look around while you're fighting. All right. So if you're in a PvP zone and you're doing PvE stuff, you still want to look around and make sure no one's sneaking up on you. Unfortunately, only controller and keyboard players get to do that. Let me show you what I mean. All right, switch to controller and switch to keyboard. We'll go over. Is there a player right here? Yeah, we'll tag this wolf. All right, and so once we start combat with this wolf, we can still do a full circle around us. Now, I don't know what happens when you hook up a keyboard and mouse to the PlayStation or the Xbox, if you will still have this option, or if they still limited it, or if they still limit your view. I play on PC, but I grew up on consoles and enjoy using controller if possible. All right, so that's the easy fix. But now you can't switch your target, though. The only way to switch target is to untarget, look at the next target you want to fight, and retarget. And that's okay, but you may want to be able to change targets much faster than that. All right, this is kind of slow. So what I recommend doing is to go back into settings. We'll use the bumpers or R1 to go over to a controller. All right, go into custom. So one thing is using B to cancel target when you're locked on. You can just also cancel target by re-clicking the right stick. So you could swap this button out for something else. You can just remove it. You already have a set and cancel. There's no reason to have an extra cancel button. So you can technically just delete the binding here by hitting the start button. No, sorry, the select button or the double window button on, and you should just hold it down and deletes that binding. There's no reason for that. Now you can rebind the B to something else you like in here. I will be going through these settings and setting up a controller exactly the way I want. And if you want to use the controller the way I use it, just let me know in the comments below, and I'll make a video about that as well. Okay, change target. Right now, you hold down RB and then click R to change target. But I'm just going to swap this out. And so I'll hit A to select this, which is bottom face button. I'm not sure what that is on PlayStation. And then I'll hit D-pad up as my new shortcut. And yes, D-pad up was on swap weapon. Personally, I'm going to change swap weapon to a different button anyway. So I'll do that, but any button you want. You could even make it B, right? We just got rid of B. So actually, let's cancel. And we'll change target and B. It's not assigned to anything anyway, right? So this will change target. Now we're locked on. As you can see, we can't switch targets with our right stick anymore. It moves our camera just a little bit. Not really sure this gives us any advantage other than when we're running around exploring, we're used to turning our camera, so we'll accidentally hit the right stick during combat. It's one of those things that's hard to not do. All right, so let's lock on to 1, and then we'll hit B, and we can quickly switch targets. So if our team switches targets or tells us to switch to a different target, or we are a tank and we need to taunt something else, we can quickly switch to it now by just hitting B. All right, so that's really nice. You can also, if you don't mind reaching from your right stick over with your right hand to your D-pad, you can also switch it to up like I do. But this is really not a bad choice. So you can choose whatever key bindings you want to lock on and to swap targets. And if you check this out, you can actually use B to look at it to kind of pick a target without being locked onto it. And now, if I walk up to it, I can still hit it without being locked on. All right, so I hit B, that chooses my target. This is kind of like using the keyboard and mouse now, right? I can still look around, and once I start fighting it, I can still look around. And I'm no longer locked on, but I can use my abilities. So that is really nice. I just figured out while recording this, so that's why it's in this order. I didn't think that was possible. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna be doing that. All right, now when we hit the right stick, we can just swap through targets. And basically, this is turning our right stick into tab. I kind of actually like that better as B. Anyway, whatever button works best for you. Now we have the ability to. This is kind of locking. We have a target. Did you see? We can use our spells on it. Watch this. We pull the right trigger and hit up on the D-pad. We're gonna hit it with our sleep spell. All right, and if I do I have my weapon swap here? Yeah, if I swap weapons. So I can do that, and now my auto attacks start hitting this one. I can look over here and I can swap to another one, start auto attacking if they're in range. Too far from target, there we go. And then I can use this to swap through, and now I can still turn my camera just like if I was using a controller. So this is basically replacing lock-on with tab. So this is how it works on the keyboard and mouse. So this is much, much better. All right, so there we go. And then we'll go through a couple of settings here because you're probably wanting to know how to use heals and stuff. All right, so let's go over a few more settings so you know how to heal your party members and things like that. All right, one of the ways of doing that, of course, is going to be using our tab targeting here to switch to a friendly target. All right, so what you'll want to do is pull the left trigger or L2. All right, and then you'll use the left stick to switch between the menus or whatever button it says up here at the top of the quick menu for your controller. All right, and then once you're in menu 2, there's this little thing down here. If you look at it, it says friendly target selection. This is off by default. So just turn this on. All right, now you'll be able to choose friendly targets. All right, and so some of the controls you'll need to know for selecting party members as well. Another way that can make it quicker is hold down left trigger, right, or L2. You can change this to whatever you want. So if I was in a party, you would see other party names, right? And how you would do it is you would just hit up and down on the D-pad to move through them. While you're holding this, as you can see, I'm not activating. As long as I'm holding the left trigger, I'm not activating my hotbar with the D-pad, right? So you can use up and down on your D-pad to switch between your allies so that you can target the correct person. All right, another important option is going to be called select the same target as the party leader. But if you want to select the same target as the party leader, right now it's hold right trigger and click L down, and that'll select the same target your party leader is targeting. All right, and then I'm going to be jumping into some groups soon, and so we'll put out another video in the future that kind of goes over how to use the controller better in groups and how the grouping and all that works and how attacking the same targets and stuff work. So I believe select attack target is going to select the target of the person that you are focusing. So if you held the left trigger and you moved up and down in your party and you've targeted a party member, holding LT and RT at the same time should allow you to target the same enemy. The only issue, so we'll have to get into a group to really find out if that's how that works instead of selecting the same target as party leader. So under gameplay, we'll go down to controls. Next target lock on. After defeating a target you were locked onto, automatically lock on to new targets that attack you or are close to you. This can be okay, but you could end up pulling something by accident using if this is turned on. If you're going in groups or dungeons, turn this off. If you're doing solo things where you're trying to kill lots of stuff at once, you can turn it on. But it's probably better to have it off and just get used to switching targets with your tab button that we just set up, right? All right, select friendly targets with crosshairs. If you turn this on, this is another option that will allow you to hover over an ally and then lock onto them so that you can heal them. So I would definitely turn that on. All right, so change attack target when using skills. I would leave this off. Simply if you change to a different target and then you hit it with the skill, it will change that to your target, which already kind of happens without this being turned on. So I would leave it off. Quick turnaround is a good one. Rotate the camera to the face direction. I wouldn't use that. Free camera mode is how you're going to be able to see who's coming up behind you. This would always keep the camera directly behind you. Up to you, but PvP players will have an advantage over you if you use that. So, all right, quick turnaround. You definitely want to turn this on. This is going to help a lot. All right, so what this is a camera feature. So I'll show you how it works. So if we want our camera to be looking behind us all of a sudden, you double tap the left stick down and our camera rotates. Do it again and it rotates. So we can immediately turn our camera around. All right, that is going to help a lot when an enemy gets behind you. All right, prevent falling. This is one you could turn on if you want to keep you from falling off of high surfaces. I turned it on for a little bit and tested it out, and it became more annoying than helpful. I ended up getting stuck and not being able to go where I needed to for quests, and it just became a pain to try and get around, so I just turned it off. These are all going to be kind of preferences under attack, but these are ones to pay attention to. Auto move within range to attack target. Turn that off. Just get used to moving yourself into range. If you have that on, your character will just take off running in a straight line toward whatever enemy you're trying to fight. Auto move within range to use beneficial skills. Yeah, I definitely want to do that because I don't want to accidentally heal myself instead of an ally if I'm casting heal or any other type of buff spells on them. Auto use non-targeted beneficial skills on self. Definitely have that on. So when you have no ally targeted, you can just immediately heal yourself if you're healing class. And of course, buff skills, whatever, just anything that you would usually put on an ally or yourself. So then we have some toggles for skills. I would leave these off. All right, so those settings should allow you to compete in PvP and do PvE combat a little bit better. You should have an easier time of it. If you enjoyed this video, smash that like button. Have an awesome day.